Okay, we'll try this one more time. Question about deleting patterns that have been installed when you install Creative Studio 7. Apparently, it automatically installs all the Statler Stitcher patterns that comes with the Statler Stitcher. The best way that I found, and I've tried several different methods of doing this, is just to, okay, up here when you bring this up, you have two columns of patterns. You have this left arrow and the right arrow. If you click the right arrow, it will expand to give you 6 patterns in a row. So here's what I tried. I tried selecting this first pattern and going down at the bottom and selecting the last pattern, and we can do that most of the times in Windows, but we have to figure out we're not really in Windows here. So I'm going to select this first pattern, hold down the Shift key, I'm going to go all the way to the bottom, and I'm going to select this last pattern. Now it's going to select all the patterns in those first 4 rows, but it's not going to select the patterns in these last 2 rows. So I'll try this. See what happens. Okay, it selects all the patterns in these 6 rows, the rows that have 6 patterns in them, but it does not select these last 4 patterns. And I could not really, okay, I held down the Control key and I click them one at a time, and it selects them. So I should have 100 patterns selected, and it does say up here we have 558 patterns. If I delete 100 patterns, we should have 458. So let's delete them and say yes, I want to delete them. Okay, 458. So now I'm going to go through this whole thing one more time. Select the first pattern in the first row. Hold down the Shift key. Go down. Select this last pattern in the last row that has 6 patterns in it. I'll just click on that and wait. And it did. It selected all of those patterns. Then we'll hold down the Control key. Click this one and just wait for a minute. It selected it. This computer's a little slow. Selected it. Select. Now I should have 100 patterns selected. Right click on a pattern. Delete 100 patterns. Yes, I want to delete 100 patterns. Just give it a minute. We have 358. So let's try this all again. Okay, now here's the thing. I learned that I click a blank space way down at the bottom here, and that deselects all the patterns. You end up with a pattern right here. Yeah, I found that it was best to not have that first pattern up there selected, and if I'd gone down to the bottom and clicked in a blank space, it would deselect it. And then I go back to the top, select this first pattern, hold down the Control key, go all the way to the bottom, select the last pattern on the right of the last row that has 6 patterns. Then I can hold down the Control key and select these last 4 patterns one at a time. That gives me 100 patterns to delete. Just hold it, just right click, go down to the bottom, delete 100 patterns, click yes. and now I'm down to 258 patterns. And I learned that if I leave this selected, it didn't seem to work. So I deselected it by selecting over here and go back and select it again, and let's see what happens. This program is a little touchy about deleting patterns. Now you see it didn't select all of these patterns up here, but if I click in this blank space and deselect everything that has been selected, then select this pattern, hold down the shift key, go down to the bottom and click this pattern. Now it selects everything from top to bottom in each row. Then I can hold down the control key, select these last 4 patterns, and then right click and delete 100 patterns, and I should only have 158 left. Okay, now that one is selected and I don't want it selected, and I don't know if there's an easy way to deselect it, but I did learn that if I go all the way down at the bottom and click in this blank area, it will deselect that pattern. Okay, get back up to the top here, select this one, scroll down, hold down the shift key, scroll down, select that pattern. It has selected every pattern in every row that has 6 patterns in it from top to bottom. Then hold down the control key and select the last 4. Right click and delete 100 patterns. That's the only way that I figured out how to do this. Now there are only 58 patterns left. So I think what I'm going to do is just go down here, click on this blank spot, deselect all of these, back to the top, select that one, shift key, select all of these, then hold down the control, and then delete 58 patterns. Now I have 0 patterns in my pattern database. Then I can bring in whatever I want to bring in. I'll just click on this and say I want to import pattern. Then it'll come up over here. I will find the C drive. Click on computer, click on C drive. Now if I click on this little plus sign over here, it will give me everything, or if I double left click on the C drive, it will give me everything. And I don't know what's in this folder, but I'm going to look. Oh, there's only one pattern in there. There's only one pattern in that folder, Fancy 3 E2E. Maybe I want to import that. So then over here I just import selected, because it is selected, and there it is. So that's how you could, let's say you want to do a quilt with this. This is the only pattern you're going to look at. You could use this and put this in your project. What can you do? Right click, add to project, and let's see if that adds that to the project. Yes, it does. See, that's in my project. It's my only pattern I have in the database. It's also in the project. If I want to save this, I'll right click and just say test, import. And this is the 5th and the 15th of 2017. And I'll just save it, and it's going to save it in my projects CS7 folder that I made on the C drive. So that's pretty much what I've learned how I can deal with deleting patterns. And then once I'm finished with this pattern, if I don't want it in the database, I can just delete it. Just right click on it and delete the pattern. Okay, I'm going to exit, and that is pretty much it.